I advise you and myself to have taqwa of Allah and to fear Him, for indeed taqwa nourishes the heart. It lightens your path and is the key to every good. Through it, one's intuition is guided, souls are at peace, and actions are set straight. Brothers and sisters in Islam, undoubtedly, through our lives we will face moments of trials and challenges, times that weigh heavily on our hearts, leaving us longing for relief from fear and doubt and anxiety. In such moments, it's only natural to search for something that can bring peace, soothe our souls, and relieve us from the burdens we are carrying. In truth, that peace we seek lies only in having husn dhan in Allah Azza wa Jal. So what does husn dhan mean? It means placing your complete trust in the divine wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and coming to the Lord, possessing positive thoughts of Him, goes through life with a sense of peace and confidence, assured in the knowledge that Allah is preparing a brighter future for them. They remain optimistic, holding unshakable hope in Allah's ultimate mercy and blessings that exceed all that we could ever expect or imagine. This unshakable faith inspires them to continue striving forward with unbridled courage and optimism. Tests in life often happen suddenly. They test patience and also strengthen one's yaqeen, certainty. Here, having husn dhan in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes a powerful source of strength. In fact, it transforms such hardships into blessings for the one experiencing them, and turning the sorrow being felt into achieving profound wisdom. A believer who places their trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala understands that these trials are temporary and knows that patience will bring them great rewards, either by raising their rank in the hereafter or by teaching them valuable lessons that bring them closer to Allah. Also, by having tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by wholeheartedly trusting in Him, nourishes one's husn dhan in Him. For expecting good from Allah and His plan provides great spiritual strength that protects a person from falling into despair or feeling frustrated. Indeed, when one sincerely trusts Allah and has tawakkul in Him, they will realize with complete certainty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never forsake them. In fact, such a person will see hardships and challenges as opportunities to achieve great rewards and ultimate success. They will view obstacles as stepping stones to a higher status in this life and in the hereafter, and as a means of self-purification and growth. The Quran provides us with many great examples of those who had husn dhan in Allah. For instance, consider Maryam alayhi salam. In one of her most distressing moments, at the time when labor pains drove her to the trunk of a palm tree, in her anguish she exclaimed, "Oh, I wish I had died before this, and I was in oblivion forgotten." Despite this moment of great despair, her tawakkul and trust in Allah remained strong, as seen in her dua when she said, "Indeed, I seek refuge in the most merciful from you, so lead me if you should be fearing of Allah." Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy descended upon her. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called her from below and said, "Do not grieve, your Lord has provided beneath you a stream, and shake toward you the trunk of the palm tree. It will drop upon you ripe fresh dates. So eat and drink and be contented. And if you see from among humanity anyone, say, indeed, I have vowed to the most merciful abstention, so I will not speak to any man today." Another example of this is in the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he was thrown into the fire, demonstrating the epitome of both tawakkul and husn dhan. Faced with what seemed like his ultimate death, his unshakable iman shone through as he declared with conviction, "Hasbi Allah wa ni'ma wakeel." Sufficient for me is Allah, and He is the best of disposer of affairs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in turn transformed the raging fire into a cool and peaceful place, showing us the virtue of relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the remarkable outcome for those who have husn dhan in Him. During the hijrah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu were seeking refuge in a cave, they were surrounded by danger from all angles. Abu Bakr then voiced his concern, saying, "If one of them were only to look down, they would surely find us. The Prophet ﷺ then responded calmly and confidently, reassuring him by saying, O Abu Bakr, what do you think will happen to two people when Allah is their third? The Prophet ﷺ then recited the famous ayah, La tahzan, inna Allaha ma'ana. Do not grieve, indeed Allah is with us. Such profound words show how, when hearts are filled with husn al-dhan in Allah, they remain firm and steadfast during times of fear. This is not just limited to individuals, it also strengthens the ummah as a whole, especially during its most difficult times. For example, during the Battle of Badr, the Muslims, despite being outnumbered, placed their trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and emerged victorious. Similarly, after the Battle of Badr, when the enemy threatened to obliterate the Prophet, the most merciful, the most generous, the all-wise, who encompasses all things in knowledge and perfects all things in his creation. I testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah alone with no partner. To him belongs the judgment and to him is the ultimate return. I testify that our leader and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his final messenger and his servant, the most truthful in faith and the most perfect in righteousness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send his salat and salam upon him, his family and companions, who illuminated the world with their adherence to his guidance and removed hardship by their devotion to true faith. Brothers and sisters in Islam, I enjoin you and myself to adopt taqwa, consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for indeed it is the greatest thing one can adopt. Brothers and sisters in Islam, one must always remember that husn al-dhan does not mean one should avoid taking action or resort to laziness. Rather, husn al-dhan should act as a driving force that motivates a person to strive diligently. It means that a person should exhaust all their efforts and dedicate their abilities in the service of their religion, strengthening and building their society, people and ummah. In hadith, the Prophet ﷺ taught us that even if the hour is about to be established and when one has planned to plant a tree, they should still do so. He ﷺ said, if the final hour begins and you have a small tree in your hand, then plant it. Planting a tree in this context symbolizes constant and unwavering dedication to doing good, as well as fulfilling our responsibilities, with the certainty that the fruits of our efforts will last long after us, even if we do not witness the results ourselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and will provide for him from where he does not expect. And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. Indeed, Allah will accomplish His purpose. Allah has already set everything a decree. O servants of Allah, send your salat and salam upon the Prophet and his family and companions. O Allah, send your salat and salam upon Muhammad, his family and companions, and be pleased with the righteous caliphates, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman and Ali, and all his family and all of his companions. O Allah, grant honor to Islam and the Muslims, humiliate disbelief and the disbelievers, destroy the enemies of your religion, make this land and all the Muslim lands safe, secure and prosperous. O Allah, we ask you for paradise and what brings us closer to it in words and deeds, and we seek refuge in you from the hellfire and what brings us closer to it in both words and deeds. O Allah, aid our brothers and sisters in Palestine. O Allah, aid our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Lift the calamities that have befallen them. O Allah, provide for their hungry, clothe their naked, and protect their oppressed. O Allah, grant them victory over their enemies, who are your enemies and who are the transgressors. O Allah, guide our leaders and all the leaders of the Muslim world to act according to your book and to implement your laws. Ya Rabbil Alameen. Our Lord, grant us good in this world and that in the hereafter, and protect us from the punishment of the hellfire. Indeed, Allah commands justice and good conduct and giving to relatives and forbids immorality and bad conduct and oppression. He admonishes you so that perhaps you will be reminded. O Allah, give victory to all the Muslims in every place and relieve them from their hardships. So remember Allah Al-Kabir Al-Jaleel, and He will remember you. Be grateful to Him for His blessings, and He will increase you. And the remembrance of Allah is greater. And Allah knows that which you do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admonishes you that perhaps